I hope you had a fantastic Boxing Day, and you're also enjoying the public holiday we're experiencing today. And of course, tomorrow will be another fantastic public holiday as well. So today is the last seminar for the month for the year, and we want to make it a very special one. The past month, can we all mute ourselves? Thank you. Thank you for muting. All right. So, like I was saying, the last couple of months have been filled with a lot of unexpected occurrences that necessitated this particular topic that we're looking at today. And we just want to share more awareness to the world at large on this particular topic, which is bullying and sexual harassment. And we won't take too much of your time with introductions. We just want to go straight to it so that we will get as much information from our panelists that we have ground today. So once again, I want to welcome all of you, especially. We have people still coming in. And if you haven't heard my welcome before, you're all welcome. Compliments of the season and Merry Christmas. So today the agenda, we're just basically concentrating on the topic because a lot of us have heard what happened in Lagos with the young boy, and we felt it's necessary for us to bring more awareness to it. So our safety moment will be talking about what bullying is all about. We'll briefly talk about our mission, our vision of this organization. Then topic for today is bullying and sexual. Can we unmute ourselves?
Hello.
All right, thank you for muting everybody. Okay, so like I was saying, the HSE topic for today is mainly on bullying and sexual harassment, and we'll have a question and comment segment as usual. If you have any questions, just go to the chat section and say questions in capital letters. You write out your questions. If you have any comments, you go as well to the go there and say comments, and you write your comments. And when we get to the point of quiz, the same thing, capital letters, you say quiz, and you give us the answer to the question and put your phone number. So if the answer is A, B, C, or D, you write that in capital, you write the answer, the option down on the chat, and you put your phone number as well, so that we'll be able to contact you to give you your gift. Then if you want to ask a question or you have a comment, you want to speak up, then you just signify by raising up your hands, and the panelists or the anchor will give you the opportunity to ask your questions. Then we'll run through our HSE campaign for the year, for the month of January, and closing remark by the CEO. So as usual, please just go to the chat section and you just tell us who invited you. Basically just say, my name is, or I am Binta Boniface, and I was invited by Aisha Okiki. My name is Deborah Ikenebome, and I was invited by Faith Abanre. So we can appreciate those people who are taking out the time to help us spread the LiHSEIF message and bring in more people to the fold. So we're going to our safety moments now, and we just want to give a brief insight on what bullying is all about. You might have your ideas, but we just want to let you know all that it encompasses, so that if for any reason you find yourself in that situation, you will know that, okay, I'm being bullied or I am being a bully.
Hi guys, welcome back to my blog. Today, we're gonna ask ourselves the most ancient question of them all: dots or stripes? So, okay.
ECM, your screen is not shared. We are not seeing anything. ECM. Hello, ECM.
Can we see the video?
Hi guys,
Yes.
welcome back to my blog. Today, we're going to ask ourselves the most ancient question of them all, dots or stripes. So, okay, on one hand, stripes are, so as I was saying, stop it! For 2 days, you've been flying around here and picking on me. You're driving me crazy. Stop it! Bullying is a behavior that hurts, harms, or humiliates a person. There are different types of bullying. Active bullying, which includes physical bullying, and verbal bullying, such as name-calling. Passive bullying, when a person makes the other feel invisible by ignoring them or not inviting them to join in a game or party. And cyberbullying, such as sending mean messages by text, email, or on social media. A bully looks for ways to get power and control over another person to make that person feel bad and to make themselves look more powerful. If somebody bullies you, look at them and tell them to stop in a calm, clear voice. If speaking up seems too hard or not safe, walk away and tell a friend or talk to a parent, teacher, counselor, or any other trusted adult. Physically.
You can see my
Share
video.
your screen. Yes.
Report it to an adult. If you witness bullying, speak up and let the bully know what they're doing is not okay. Anyone can be the victim of bullying. People bully other people for all kinds of reasons. Bullying can hurt, both physically and emotionally. But don't blame yourself.
Remember, it's not your fault. You are awesome.
Oh, you poor thing. You were just lonely and needed some attention. Here, have a cookie.
Okay, guys, till next time. And don't forget to come and visit me at amaze.org or go to my
All right, so there you have it.
YouTube channel to watch more. Bye.
There you have it, what bullying is about, and you have to check yourself and assess yourself. Am I a bully or am I being bullied? And what are the things you have to do to correct it? So our first question of the day, remember, is fastest correct fingers first. And here it goes. Which of these is not a type of bullying? I know the video was disjointed, but I guess this information would have gotten this. We have A, cyberbullying, passive bullying, headaches bullying, and active bullying. 3 of them are types of bullying except one. So whichever the answer, what the answer is, go straight to the chat room, say quiz in capital letters, put your option and give us your phone number, and we'll get our fastest correct fingers. Thank you. So remember, in the month of December, we said these are the special days we'll be having, and we just concluded our Christmas celebration, our Boxing Day as well, and we are still enjoying the benefits of that celebration. And in January, of course, we're starting the year with a New Year celebration, and 2 notable celebrations that has to do with health, which is Cervical Cancer Awareness Month. The whole of January is dedicated to cervical cancer, which is a very, very important awareness period for women, for us to get ourselves checked. Then we also have World Leprosy Day, that is not done on the 30th of January. So let's keep these days in our mind, and if there's anything that we can do to support any of this awareness, it would be good for us to do so. So we all, most of us here know what LiHSEIF is about. We're all about getting seasoned HSE professionals to come together and continue to move our country, our people, our homes to greater heights. And we are doing that by starting from the grass level. We're not going to companies and excluding schools and children. We're making it all encompassing. It's an inclusive forum that wants everybody. As far as you're human, you can breathe. You can actually be a practitioner of health, safety, and environment. That's why we have our school programs. We are collaborating with companies, we're collaborating with organizations, and anybody far and wide that wants the best for us on this earth and for people all around you. We want to work with you. So without further ado, I want to welcome our guest speakers for today, 3 of them. 3 seasoned speakers. They are professional in their various fields. We have Dr. LiHSEIF Odewale, who is the CEO of Purpose Driven Counseling Service, and Ms. Utitofon Ekanem. She's a seasoned school manager and administrator, and Mr. Kolade Yomi, who is the head of business development for Welling Heat Limited. So all together with my co-anchor, Mr. Christian Ike, we are going to be talking about this very, very sad and important topic, bullying and sexual assault. So, Mr. Ike.
Thank you very much, ACM. I want to welcome all of us to this part of the webinar. And it promises to be edifying, interesting, and one that will be thought-provoking. As ECM has said, shall happily introduce our guest, Dr. LiHSEIF Odewale, Mrs. Utitofon Ekanem, and Mr. Kolade Yomi. Please, you are welcome to this segment of the webinar. Can I get a note from our guests that they can hear me?
Good evening.
Good evening, Dr. LiHSEIF. Mr. Kolade, good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Ike.
Good evening. Here is Mrs. Ekanem.
Okay, thank you very much.
Good evening, everyone. This is Mrs.
Yes. Can we meet you? Let's start with Dr. LiHSEIF Odewale. Can you tell us just briefly who you are and what you represent?
Okay, thank you. Good evening, everyone. My name is Dr. LiHSEIF Odewale. I'm the CEO of Purpose Driven Counseling Services and the head of research at the Shelter Youth and Community Network here in Lagos. I'm a professional counselor and a learning facilitator. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. LiHSEIF. Really appreciate that brief introduction. Mrs. Utitofon Ekanem, can you introduce yourself? Really appreciate you do that. You are muted. You are muted, Mrs. Ekanem. Mrs. Ekanem, you are muted.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I'm Mrs. Utitofon Ekanem, a graduate of Obafemi Awolowo University. I studied political science education from Department of Guidance and Counseling. I love to teach. I train teachers. I carry out research on a yearly and termly appraisals for schools. I am more of a school manager stroke administrator. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Ekanem. Can we meet you, Mr. Kolade?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Yomi Kolade. I work with an organization called Welling Health Limited. Welling Health Limited is into occupational health, public health, and health risk management. I study public administration and also have a background in accounting, but eventually I found myself in the healthcare industry. and I've been working in the healthcare industry for about 15 years now. I'm a healthcare business expert and also health safety and environment professional. I'm a member of Queen's Health and Safety of Association of UK, Chartered Institute of Commerce of Nigeria, Nigerian Institute of Marketing, and also Academy of Chief Executive of the United Kingdom. It's a pleasure to be part of this program. I'm so honored to be part of it, and we appreciate being part of the program to, discuss about this important topic this evening.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Kolade, Dr. Olishe, and Mrs. Ekanem. Now let's go straight to what we'll be discussing this evening. Let me start with you, Dr. Olishe. I'm going to start with this question. Can we have a definition for bullying and sexual harassment?
Thank you. Bullying is an intentional act to hurt or harm someone. It's a complex social problem that has different outlets. And the most common outlets include verbal harassment, physical harassment, and sexual harassment. And sexual harassment is an unwelcome sexual behavior that is offensive, humiliating, or intimidating. It can be verbal, physical, or written. And it can happen in person or online. Thank you.
Wow. Wow. So sometimes the person doesn't need to be there to carry out the sexual harassment. Thank you very much. ECM.
So the important point for bullying, as I understand from what the doctor said, is it has to be intentional. Yeah, okay. So thank you very much for that clear definition, doctor. Ms. Ekanem, since you're in a school environment, which one do you see the most? Is it bullying or is it sexual harassment? Which reports do you get the most?
Yes, from the research carried out by the American Association of University Women, it was said in 1993-2001 that about 81% of students were sexually harassed, while just 61 were bullied. And the federal government of Nigeria in 2007 said that the growing percentage of students being bullied or sexually harassed cuts across the globe on a daily basis. But their research showed that about 78% got bullied, while 65% were sexually harassed. But because of the school environment, I would say that bullying is more. My reason for saying that bullying is more is that it can easily be noticed. Good observer, either a teacher, a non-teaching staff, or even a fellow student, you often see a student come to you and tell you, oh, I noticed this happened. I saw a wound on a fellow student. So bullying is easier to notice than sexual harassment. Now, if I want to take the example from your advert, the poster you used to advertise this program, you saw that when that boy was being bullied, the boy that used the book to protect his head on the wall, you noticed there were two students that were watching, those helpless students. The fact is because they can't help, but they have seen what has happened. But when we look at the woman in the office with his boss, we discover that there was no other person around there. So the boss possibly checked the appropriate time before he harasses his staff or his secretary or what have you. So in case of bullying, it can happen anytime. You could be teaching in the class, and when you turn to make a note on the board, you notice that a child will use his elbow to hit the other child if you're very, very fast at observing. But when it comes to sexual harassment, they will plan it. It will be well planned, to be when nobody will notice. So I will say that bullying is more in our school presently than sexual harassment. That's not to say that sexual harassment is not happening, but you will easily notice bullying than sexual harassment.
Thank you very much for that, doctor. Sir, Ms. Ekanem, thank you very much for that.
Wow. Okay. I think I would tend to agree. It's easy to see bullying because sometimes it's crowd related. Okay. Mr. Apayomi, I have this question for you. Are there differences between the sexes with regard to peer victimization?
Thank you very much, Mr. Ike. Well, available studies on bullying in schools in Nigeria show that there is no significant difference that exists between male and female pupils in the experiences of bullying, especially in Nigeria. There was a study conducted among pupils in secondary schools in Nigeria in 2018, and the research shows that 51.4% of the male pupil and 50.8% of female pupils reported being victims of bullying. So which shows that there is no significant difference when it comes to gender, when it comes to bullying. However, when we are talking about sexual harassment, it's very obvious and very apparent that the female gender are the most victims of sexual harassment in the pupil, in schools and even in workplaces.
Thank you for that analysis, especially the inference to the data collected from reputable sources. ECM?
Yeah, I agree with Mr. Bayomi. It also could also be that boys, because of the being male and with the male traditional ego, you wouldn't want to report when you are having problems compared to the expectation that women would probably go and report. So the statistics would be a bit flawed because it might be happening, but reporting is not at 100%. So bearing this in mind, Dr. Oluseyi, how does this affect academic performance in either sexes, both for male and female?
Thank you. Students who are bullied are likely to be disconnected from school because school is supposed to be a safe place for everyone. School is supposed to be a place where students will feel free to come in and also go back home. There should be emotional safety and physical safety in schools. So when students are being bullied, they're likely to be disconnected from the school. They don't want to go to school. That is why as parents, we need to listen to our children. I don't want to go to school. Find out why. Don't say go, 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 go. Why? Because eventually it will begin to affect the grades and academic performance of such students. So there is a great impact on the academic performance and connectedness with school when students are being bullied. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that. Ms. Ekanem, can you throw more light on the students' attachment in school, especially when they are feeling bullied? How does that affect them socially, mingling with friends, their relationship with their teachers, or any other things apart from academic performance? What are the other ways that bullying affects the children?
Yes, because of our upbringing and our background, children react differently to different situations, and bullying and sexual harassment is not exempted. Some of these children will be isolated, they will be withdrawn, they will lose concentration in whatever activities you want them to be involved. Sometimes you want them to be part of sporting activities in the school, they will dodge, they will look for a way to hide. And if they're in the same class with the person harassing them, they want to avoid that person at all costs. And if it's in the case of a boarding school, maybe they share the same hall of residence, it becomes a problem because they will not be able to sleep. Such children can develop insomnia. They will have issues with sleeping because they are afraid that maybe during the sleep, the person bullying them can actually attack them during that time. So when it happens like that, you see them being detached from people, being from the teachers, being detached from regular activities they're supposed to take part. And of course, just like Madam just said, it will lead to low performance in every aspect of their life.
Thank you for that, Ms. Ekanem. It's pretty obvious that when you see some of these bullying outcomes, we might not necessarily tie to bullying, but having this kind of forum where we talk about it, we all can take a step back and actually see that sometimes when you see a child withdrawn and crying, it might not just be the usual assumption we have. It might be something much more deeper.
Wow. Now, after considering this aspect, that it disturbs the children in terms of their performance. Now, I have this question for our three guests. The first one will be directed to Mrs. Ekanem. Now, how much bullying and sexual harassment is there in school or in schools? Taking your school or the schools that you have represented, for example, can you quantify it? Can you state the maybe number or percentage?
Okay, if I want to quantify it, I would say 7 out of 10 students, experiences this on a daily. Now, should I continue?
I said that's a lot. I said that is a lot. 7 out of 10. That is quite high. Let me go to Mr. Abayomi Kolade. Workplace, especially for us the adults that work, have different jobs. So how would you quantify it in terms of is it bullying and sexual harassment? How?
Mr. Ike, thank you for that question. It can be very, very, very shocking and alarming when you now come to see the rate or the statistics of this in workplaces, especially bullying. Going by the report from Occupational Health and Safety Standards, the global organization, talking about what bullying in workplaces are. By the time you know what bullying in workplaces are, you now see that in Nigeria as a country, whereby we have a lot of organizations that are not well structured, that are not even complying with best practice. For instance, spreading malicious lies, rumors, gossip is bullying. Excluding somebody socially in work environment is bullying. Intimidating somebody in work environment is bullying. Undermining or deliberately impeding somebody's work is bullying. Physically abusing someone is bullying. Removing somebody's responsibility and roles without proper information and indicting that person is bullying.
Mr. Kolade,
yeah.
Can I stop you? Don't go further. Because
so I should stop there.
Yes, just stop there, because if you go further, all of us are being bullied.
Fantastic. That's what I want to hear from you. So you can see that all of us are people in workplaces.
Exactly.
Mostly all of us.
From what you have said, I am very sure that even those of us who are on the panel list and then the guests, our audience, we are all being bullied, because the definitions you are giving, I don't think there's anyone that has not faced malicious intent. Males.
Exactly.
I don't think there's anyone of us that have not faced it. Okay, Dr. Oluseyi, let's talk about the society now. Let's leave the workplace in school.
Wow, that's great. It is interesting to note that bullying occurs in many homes. Many children are actually facing, many children, many youths, many adults are actually being bullied in one way or the other, like Mr. Kolade said, and it's prevalent, both bullying and sexual harassment. Bullying occurs in homes, in families, among relatives, even among mates. Some parents are bullies and some teachers are bullies. Going by the definition of bullying, spreading of rumors, emotional abuse, physical abuse, kicking, slapping, eating, all these are forms of bullying. So bullying is very prevalent in our society.
Dr. Oluseyi,
thank you.
Mrs. Ekanem and Mr. Kolade, what you have just stated now is all of us are facing one form of bullying. Even some, one of our audience just sent a message that even some in religious gatherings are being bullied. We do not know the form of bullying you will receive in your religious gathering. But for somebody to state that means across the society, this is happening. ECM,
Yeah, it's an eye opener to realize that our everyday interaction could actually be defined as we bullying somebody or we receiving bullying as well. And I don't want us to just feel that the whole idea is that we are looking for who is bullying us. Let us also take a step back to actually check ourselves to find out when we are also being the bully. So, which brings us to the next question. Who are these targets? Who are the easy targets to bullying and sexual harassment? Is there a profile of it that you could just pick and say, these people are the ones that are the most vulnerable to bullying, Mr. Kolade?
Yeah, thank you so much. Well, this also can be, can be very interesting. We need to look at it from the angle where the bullying is happening. For instance, the targets of bullying in schools, the profile is different from target of bullying in workplaces. In schools, we're looking at the vulnerables, especially pupils from poor homes, students that are weak, some that have physical disabilities, some that are not very smart, not very intelligent like others, some who are so mild, they even easily give in to abuse. You talk to them, they start crying. Such ones are targets because those who are bullying them, when they bully them, they see the reaction and they continue to do it, not minding what the impact is. In workplaces, unfortunately, the bullied ones in workplaces are the smart guys, the smart ones, the competent ones, the adequately qualified ones, those guys that are very social and caring in work environment, the professionals, those who are very official, those who are ready to comply with standards to say, this is how the MD wants it, this is how we should do it. And then, we talk about sexual harassment. Unfortunately, the women folks are also targets. However, that does not mean men are not being sexually harassed too in some quarters.
Thank you very much for that clarification. Ms. Ekanem, do you want to throw more light on that, especially for the school angle?
Yes, for school, Mr. Kolade had mentioned ones can also be a student say he behaves as if he knows everything. It starts like that. Once you start seeing a particular student complaining that a certain student is more brilliant, you start seeing them ganging up, planning against that student because he or she is extremely brilliant. You can see some students being very brilliant, but physically weak. They are also objects of bullying or targets. You also see, even from rich home, we have these ones we call ajebota in our local language. They are such things. They can't move their leg, they can't move. Those ones can be bullied too. But their own bullied, I will say it has limits because they will know that if you do anyhow, you see anyhow, so to say. So those are the two ones. The brilliant ones can be bullied. I've had that experience. And the rich ones can also be bullied. The other one, the weak ones have been covered. And some people are just uncomfortable about a particular tribe too. You hear a student say, this person is from this tribe, that person is from the other tribe. I don't like that tribe. That starts, the attitude of bullying starts from there. So tribe also contributes to bullying too.
So we have tribalism and of course ethnicism, colorism, having to do with how intelligent or learned, then social factors like how rich or how poor and all that all contributes to making someone a target. And of course the circumstance, all of them joined together to make a bullying environment.
Okay, sorry, before I turn my attention back to the guest, our audience need to participate. So there's a quiz question that has been prepared for you. I'm going to be sharing the screen so that you can answer the question. So if you're ready, as usual, the fastest finger. Bully is higher than sexual harassment in schools. True or false? Bully is higher than sexual harassment in schools. So There you have it. Let's continue with our next question that will be directed to Dr. LiHSEIF. Do the harassing student and victim have to be of the opposite sex? Does it have to be boy against girl, girl against boy? Or what do you say, Dr. LiHSEIF?
Thank you. It doesn't have to. Bullying and sexual harassment is not gender specific. It can occur between sexes and also within sexes, male and female, female and male. So it can happen in any of these two sexes. And we need to understand some of Mr. Kolade and Mrs. Akanem has talked about the victim now, the characteristics of victims. I want to quickly just chip in two characteristics of a bully so that we should be on the lookout. Number one, they lack empathy for others. They don't have feelings. So you can actually spot a bully. Secondly, they have aggressive personality. They are aggressive. They don't want to take it easy for anybody. So these are some of the characteristics. So it could be a female or a male. Thank you.
There you have it. So it doesn't have to be specific. It's not gender specific, as the good doctor has said. So we need to look out for those characteristics, especially if your child is the one melting at the bullying. You need to watch your kids too, so that you'll be able to protect other children and protect your child too. So ECM.
So bearing this in mind, like I like looking at things from the two perspectives as both receiver and perpetrator. So we have 40 plus people out here. And I'm sure if we ask the question, a lot of us will say we have been bullied, but do we actually have the guts to say if we have bullied someone? So that, because of that second question, how do we now identify a bully and reduce bullying? Ms. Ekanem, especially in the school environment. Oh, you are muted.
Sorry, take the question again. How do we identify?
How do we reduce bullying in the school environment? What do we need to do to reduce bullying in the school environment?
Okay. The first thing is attention. You have to pay attention to details. You have to pay attention to your environment, and you have to pay attention to the student, whether in a boarding school or in a day school. Now, why do you need attention? Without attention, you won't be able to pick a child that is aggressive, just like Dr. LiHSEIF said. And you will not be able to pick a weak child. So once you're able to strike that balance, know a child that is aggressive. Some of them are naturally aggressive from home. And you also know a child that is soft, can be trampled upon before you say Jack. We will be able to reduce bullying. We'll be able to talk to these children once we notice it, because sometimes you hear a teacher say, it's a child's play. No, once we notice that there is a difference between this child and the other child, which is make sure we call them to order before it gets out of hand. Because bullying starts subtle, before you know it becomes aggressive, before you know it is attack, before you know it is something else. So attention is most important to me.
Okay, so for the people that are receiving this bullying now, what would be the best strategy? Dr. LiHSEIF. So you have someone who has bullied you, and you would you obviously want to stop it. The video we watched earlier talked about speaking to the person softly, but then again, you have a lot of people who are afraid of getting beaten and all that. We're now looking about ways, how do we start giving people awareness on how to stop bullying, especially in Nigeria, knowing fully well that we don't have all the fantastic infrastructures like therapists, counselors, and the rest of them situated in all our schools. And sometimes you have teachers that are unavailable, and like Ms. Ekanem says, they are not paying attention. So from the perspective of the child who is receiving the bullying, how can this be reduced?
Okay, thank you. from the perspective of a child who is being bullied, the first thing to do is to report. That child should not be afraid, because most of them, they used to be afraid that if I report now, the bullying will continue. Report to your teacher. And also the teacher can invite the bully and talk. I've handled a bully case before, and I was able to invite him and the victim also, and try as much as possible to tell him that bullying is not okay. It's not an acceptable behavior. And before we can actually reduce bullying in schools, we need to have a clear definition of bullying, because sometimes some people, they don't even know that name calling is, you are bullying that individual. So we need to have a clear definition of bullying, and also have clear rules that you need to enforce in schools. And teachers need to have open communication, allow students to talk, allow them to ask questions, allow them to share their troubles, their problems. When you do that, you'll be able to help them out. Also, on the part of school, how do we reduce bullying? Children need adults in their lives. We need to increase adult supervision. You can't leave students alone, just on their own, especially the adolescents. One thing or the other may happen. So increase adult supervision. And as parents and as teachers, we need to be a good example, because it has been discovered that bully begets bully.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Okay. So very important, but we need to do that. We need to watch it. We need to, because they are watching us. Children learn by observation and imitation, and they will do much more than we do. So what are we doing? What kind of example are we giving them? Do we show love? Do we show care to people? So we need to do that before we can actually reduce bullying in schools. And I want to talk about having a counselor in schools. Every school should have a counselor, both primary school, secondary school, and tertiary institutions, where students can actually come around and share their feelings, their thoughts, their troubles. So this is very key and very important. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that, Doctor. It's hitting the nail on the head on this. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay, thank you, Doctor. Now, before I ask my next question, which is what are the impacts of bullying and sexual harassment on the health, maybe of school children and adults at workplaces? I don't know. We clearly defined that all of us, one way or the other, have experienced bullying. Now, what of sexual harassment? Among our guests, have you experienced something like that? Dr. LiHSEIF is already nodding and saying no. Mr. Kolade?
No.
You know
I'm not had that. I've not experienced that.
Okay.
But if we're talking about bullying, like we have said,
Yes, I have.
We have all experienced bullying, and we have even all bullies one person or another at one time.
Okay, Mrs. Kanem, have you experienced something like that?
Yes, I have experienced sexual harassment between a lecturer and I during my university days. That's a long story. That will be a story for another day. I think HSE will be part of it later.
We don't want the story here. But I think your experience is one that those who are students of the tertiary institutions will relate to, especially the ladies. I don't think any of the men will come and say that a female lecturer, but it does happen anyway. Now, to my actual question that I wanted to ask, what are the impact of bullying and sexual harassment on the health of school children? Mr. Kanem, you will work with kids. What is the impact? How does it affect them?
Yes. From my experience, I will divide the impact on health of sexual harassment and bullying into three. The first one, I'll call it mental. Second, physical. The third one, I'll say psychosocial effects. The lead and sexually harassment, anybody around him or her is a suspect. The child will be anxious, anxiety will set in. Because they can't express themselves, they can't tell anybody they've been sexually harassed or bullied, they'll run into depression. They'll prefer to be lonely. They'll isolate themselves from friends and family. That's the mental picture. And when it comes to the physical, they have low self-esteem. You always see them unhappy at the corner of the class. You notice that when other schoolmates are interacting, playing, you will see them having difficulty making friends. And they also have poor relationship with classmates. And of course, they will end up with low grades because at the same time, they can't associate, they can't have what we call group discussion, they can't exchange notes. You see them missing classes. They wouldn't even want to have anything to do with anybody because they don't even know who to trust. So the physical aspect, they will be withdrawn completely. They will always be unhappy. They'll always be sad. Then when we talk about the psychosocial effects, they will have loss of appetite. You see them growing lean. They will have nightmares. They'll always be afraid. They'll always be scared of the unknown. Nothing is wrong with them. They are just scared because of the trauma that they have developed over time. They will start skipping classes. If it's in a day school, they start not coming to school regularly, absenteeism, and they lose interest in regular activities. So it will take a counselor to bring such ones out. So it's a very serious effect on the mind of students when it comes to the impact of bullying and sexual harassment. It can not be overemphasized.
Thank you very much. Mr. Kolade, what is the effect on adults at workplaces?
What the effect of this on adults in workplaces, it's very, very great. It affects their work. Actually, it gives it creates emotional problem for those who are bullied in workplaces. It affects their productivity. It affects their health. Some end up having shock, trauma. Some become hypertensive. Some have insomnia, because they don't sleep well again. It affects their productivity, and eventually it affects the bottom line of the organization. It affects their marital life, because when people start becoming bullied or they are sexually harassed, is a total effect, total impact on their mental, their physical, their emotional, and their spiritual activities.
Wow, thank you very much. We are pressed for time, and we'll just ask just one more question, which has to do with legal options. I know for those who have questions after the official time, we could ask our guest questions. We will try to pride ourselves, leave everything under the window of 1 hour. So, Dr. Oluseyi, legal options.
Thank you, sir. We need to understand that bullying and sexual harassment is not legal. It's against the law of the land. And every child, youth, or adult, they have the right to be respected and to be safe everywhere. So it's against the law for someone to be bullied or to be sexually harassed. So one can take it up from there. If there's nothing, if nothing is done, maybe in school or at the workplace, that's the legal option that we have. It's against the law. It's against our basic human rights. Everybody needs respect and to be safe everywhere you are. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate our guest, Dr. Oluseyi Odewale, Mr. Bayome Kolade, and Mrs. Torefom Ekanem. Real appreciation. Thank you very much for coming. Please still stick around. We have questions from our audience so that you'll be able to address it. And ECM, back to you.
Thank you very, very much. I'm always very interested when I hear this kind of topics, because it's something that we all experience one way or the other in our homes or in our schools or in our place of work. So when you bring up topics like this, it actually takes me back memory lane of instances when a lot of stuff happened and you didn't know you were being bullied or harassed. So thank you very much again, Dr. Oluseyi, Mr. Kanem, and Mr. Bayomi. This definitely has helped someone. If we have managed to help one person, we have already done our job. So thank you very much again. Just looking through the chat section, I'm seeing a lot of comments on the topic. I'm so glad that it's an engaging topic and a lot of people have something to say about it. So without further ado, do we have anybody with their hands up for questions? Anybody's hands up? Let's see. Okay, at this time we do not have. So, oh, we have one person's hand up. Who is that? John. John, please go ahead with your question.
Okay. My question is, because I wasn't that stable, my network was kind of unstable. So I want to know what the meaning, the definition of bullying is.
Okay, he said he wants to know the definition of bullying. Is that what you said, John? Yeah, that's right. Okay, Dr.
Okay, let me take it again. Okay, bullying is an intentional act to hurt or harm someone. That's the simplest definition. It's intentional.
So it's different from when you hurt someone unintentionally. That's not bullying.
Yes.
So just to clarify. So we don't have any other hands up. Okay. Infinix Note 10. Could you unmute yourself and ask your question?
Please introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. My name is Etukakwan Okeme, and I'm a school administrator. And I've got a question. We've talked about bullying a lot, and I always notice that people seem to emphasize a lot on physical bullying and ignore the one that is actually so prevalent in most cases, which is emotional bullying. A lot of people go through this, but it's always like that is not a major thing. The only time you see schools talk about bullying, or even outside the school, is when someone has been attacked physically. But those who go through emotional stress and pains, they actually tend to ignore them. And I think one thing I want to know is this: how do we identify these people suffering from emotional bullying? And how can we help them, especially students? Thank you.
Mr. Kanem, do you want to take this one?
Yes. The way we can identify those that have emotional bullying is their activities, academic activities, participation in vocational activities in the school. Now you see a child comes out from the hostel in the case of a boarding school, and you notice the child walks alone all the time.
I think we have a situation with Mrs. Ekanem's network. But dear friends, we are pressed for time.
Okay, can I quickly say something about it? Okay. The other time I said something about emotional safety in schools. Schools should be emotionally safe, where students can share their
Ask
feelings.
the child, do you have a friend? That's it. Does not have friends.
She's back.
Has gone again. Her network is fluctuating.
Okay. That's why I said we need to have open communication with our students. When you have that, they will be able to come around and share their troubles, their feelings, everything that they are passing through. They will have opportunity of sharing. But when they are afraid, nobody to talk to, no teacher to share their feelings and their thoughts with, they will continue to suffer emotional abuse, which is very common, as you said. So we need to have that one. We need to have that conversation with our students. Feel free to talk. Feel free to share your feelings. I'm always, always ready to listen to students. Even when they are not, when I see a sign that a student is not happy, come around, come and talk to me. What is happening to you? Those are the things we need to, that's why we need to have counselors in our schools, a professional one, not the one that would believe that maybe just, is nice, is friendly, because we need skills. There are skills. Students, they don't just talk to anybody. They don't just open up to anybody. You can ask them questions from now to tomorrow. They won't answer you, but they know who they can actually confide in. So these are the things we need to do before we can actually, identify those ones that are emotional, that are suffering from emotional abuse. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. We have done exactly
Yes,
1 hour. Sorry,
okay.
Mrs. Lekanem, sorry. We have done exactly 1 hour, and we stated that I'm seeing hands. I know this is a very sensitive topic. Can we continue? Let the ECM, that's Mrs. Lekanem, continue the rest of the webinar so that we announce the winners of the quiz. Thereafter, we will continue our discussion when we close, because I know a lot of us have questions, so that those who want to leave the webinar, and if all of us want to stay, we can continue to stay. So Mr. John, Mr. Ukoime, Mr. Aroge will attend to your question shortly. ECM, please.
Okay, so do we have our winners ready?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
We have our winners.
So just a brief look at those people who won in our last seminar. We have Rosabel, Nathan, Rachel, Beikemi, and Peji Day. So we will quickly run through those who won for today.
Okay. For the first quiz, we have Miss Peyi Olifisoye, who is she has turned to, I think, a veteran in winning the quiz. But we have a new winner. I do not know whether this is Mr. Salau or Mrs. Salau, but we have a winner for the second quiz, just Salau. So we do not know whether it's a Mrs. or a Mr.
It's Mrs. Salam. It's Mrs. Salam.
Okay. Oh, she doesn't want to give it to the husband. So it's Mrs. Salau that won the quiz. So we have all the ladies. Well, congratulations to our winners. We really appreciate you all. We did not have no entry for, okay, we do have entry for our publicity. No entry for the publicity. There's no entry for the publicity. So those are the quiz winners for today.
Okay, thank you very much, Yohan. So we'll very quickly just want to tell you what our HSE campaign is for the month of January. We are already talking about bullying. And like I said, with the events that have happened in the last month, we have now realized that we have been overlooking this very serious situation. So for that matter, we are talking about bullying today. Our safety moment was about bullying, and our campaign for January will also be about bullying, because we are hoping that starting from the schools that we are affiliated with, we want to ensure that not only are we preaching health, we're also preaching safety, and we're preaching security, and also maintaining and taking care of the environment. So please, let's take this message out there and continue to preach it, because people need to hear it. If you are a bully, stop it. If you are receiving, or if you are a victim of bullying, please stand up and speak out. If you keep quiet, you only give the bully more power to continue to hurt you. So, Mr. President, can you give us our closing remark?
What an exciting discourse we've had today. Merry Christmas, everybody, and thank you, Team LiHSEIF, our able ECM, and our VP Operation Admin. Thank you so much for putting this together. I want to especially thank our panelists, Dr. LiHSEIF, you're so wonderful, Mr. Kanem, and Mr. Abayomi. Thank you so much for your invaluable contributions. And I can assure you that we may not be able to reward you, but I know God will reward you for the enlightenment and impartation you've shared with us. Thank you so much time to be with us and to share the knowledge that you have and you've acquired over time. And I want to thank the audience as well. And without you, there's no us. So at this junction, we would like to join us to continue to speak about LiHSEIF, continue to encourage us to do more and do great so that the society will be a better place for all of us to live in. Thank you so much. I wish all of us a prosperous year 2022 to come. I look forward to better things as well. Thank you so much, everybody. God bless us.
Thank you, Mr. President. For those of us who are new and you would like to contact us, these are our contact information. You can reach us on all the social media platforms. You have our website there and our phone numbers that you can reach us on. And you can find us on Facebook, on Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, Pinterest, YouTube, we're there. So as long as you have a phone, you can reach us. If you find it difficult to reach us on any of this platform, please, whoever linked you up to the forum today, you can also reach out to them, and I'm sure they will give you more information on how to join us. So that being said, we are officially closed for the year. Thank you all so much for tuning in. It has been wonderful since the beginning of this seminar, coming to give you guys topics and building awareness on HSE. And I'm also trying to bring up our LiHSEIF message to everybody from the top all the way to the little kids at school. It warms my heart seeing the appreciation that we're getting from the work we're doing, and the fact that we're actually making an impact, even if it's to one person. It warms my heart that we're actually making that impact. So like the COM says, if you still want to stay back to ask questions, you're free to do so. But as of now, the forum is officially closed. And in our usual fashion, we just want you all to turn on your video camera so that we can quickly take a picture to remember this day and put it in our archives. So I will stop the share now, and please turn on your camera so that we can quickly take a picture and call it a day. And next time we'll be seeing ourselves, we'll be shouting Happy New Year and welcome 2022. So, Miss Salau, nice to see you. Mrs. Deme, nice to see you. Dr. Bukunola, nice to see your face. Mr. Rotimi Arogi, nice to see you. Mr. Lamide, nice to see you. I'm seeing Mr. Michael Francis and his junior behind him. Nice to see you. I can see Adeleke. Okay. Who else has turned on their camera? Deyi Olufisoye, our champion.